is never blank. I'll share my screen with you.
Because whenever, like since yesterday I'm opening, it's totally blank. So I have uninstalled and reinstalled, but still I'm facing the same issue.
Have you installed R?
Yeah, both I have installed. R is what R I get 3 and that 4 frame which yesterday we were working on. It's only with the
Okay.
R Studio I'm having some issue.
Okay.
So
I'm
it
creating
opens
a
like this
script.
directly for.
See, can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Yeah. What I will do now is, yeah, this is the blank editor I have. So this screen, the left top screen is the editor window.
Okay. No, I can
The
only see the top tabs
left,
in my screen, and
yeah.
rest everything is blank.
Perhaps you try and install or go to view and see if there is anything that you can do with that, because you all these 4 screens should be by default visible. This
Okay.
is so this is editor window, this is console, the bottom, the right top is environment tab, which is history, connections, and tutorials. And left bottom is basically for help, but you get plots, files, packages, and viewers also in uh, right bottom package. Okay. Now, uh, these are your data sets. Now I'm saving this particular editor. So I click on the editor. Okay. And I save as the editor. Sorry, I can to save. I'm taking the default saving system, and right now I have a folder made for the course. So I'm choosing that folder, workshop STC 2022, and I would say R code STC 2022. Hello. Yeah. This is the file name that I'm giving. Take RCC 2022, and I have, right? These are available. Now, group 1 data set, library site, data, sat.act. Now, they should be below each other, right? Now, the first thing that the group people do is to run the library. So I'm running the library in the brackets site, and then I have to do data sat act, right? You would realize that this side, the data has come. So this is how the data looks like. You can actually open the data file, and this is how the data file looks like. Gender, education, age, ACT, SATV, SAT. This is the data set, right? SAT, ACT data set. Now, I can know what is the size of the data set. Okay, so I can name my and then I can say dim my data. Oh, it is null. Okay. Can not sat. Yeah. So I have to actually save it as a matrix, not data, but only this way. And yeah. So this is data of 700 people on 6 variables, right? I want to know the names of variables, so I can actually say names sat.sat, okay? Or I can ask for help of sat. So help sat CT. And this is side, you will see the health. So health says that package, it's a data of three measures of quality. SAT-V, SAT-Q, and AAT. What are they? The self-report scores on SAT quantitative and ACT were collected out of Basic Aperture Personality System (APA), basically SAPA project, and from is brought in. Now, as you look at, think of what is the outlet question you can ask for this data. Uh, then the VA also. Look here. Male is equal to 1 is equal to 2. Self-report education 1 is equal to high school, to 5 is equal to grad work, right? Age is equal to age. T means ACT composite scores, which is from 1 to 36. The national norm has a mean of 20. So there is a national mean available. SAT verbal scores may range 200. SAT score may range 200. For more information, the data, the paper by Revel and 2009 paper, which is the reference given here. And this paper published at a where they made a data, and you can SAPA project, you can click on personality project, and you can detail on this data set. So this is group 1, right? So this is how we get the data. Similarly, to group, you have data. So you can do this and you would get this data. Now I am unable to get it because it installed a package AER. So I have to do, let's try and do library AER. I have AER library. I don't have a AER library. It says that error library AR, there is no package called AER, right? So what I have to do, I have to
Install package.
install packages. Yes, install packages AER. So I will now install packages. It will very quickly get installed, I'm pretty sure. It is amazing. It basically contains only data sets, nothing else. Okay. This is a Swiss labor data set, AER package. We are waiting for it to be installed. Here, package is getting, and there are several such packages. Now, I AER, I will get the library. Right after clicking, after running the code library AER, it brought in R, brought in since the object logit in the AER is different from the object logit, is that object logit is masked now. So the Sykes logic object used this data set. LM test and zoo packages were also caught, and sandwich and survival packages were also called. That are the things that AER has done when we ran AER. Now, if we click on data Swiss labor package AER, it will run. See, this data has come. Right now, here on the right hand side, on tab, here there is a Swiss labor data. Okay, look at the cursor, right? Swiss labor data. It has 807 variables. I double and participation, income, age, education, young kids, old kids, these are the various variables in this data, and this data is available. It's a 800 observations data. Okay, fine. How do I know more of this? Okay, I can again do dim and say 872 by 7, right? So this is Swiss labor. And then you can start analyzing. I can say names, Swiss labor, and I get all the names. If I say help, Swiss labor, I get help for Swiss labor data, and the help says that this part, Swiss labor market participant data, cross section data obtained from health survey of uh, Tommy Pops for Switzerland, 1981. So this is the data from Switzerland. This is the details of the data. Participation is a factor. Factors takes only categories, right? So did individual participate in the labor force? Yes or no? Income, logarithm of non-labor income is variable income. So log of non-labor income is taken. Age is years divided by 10. Education, years of formal education. Number of young children under age 7. Number of old children 7. And foreign, the factor where individual is a Swiss national or a foreigner. This is a paper published in Journal of Applied Econometrics Data Archive. On this data, you can refer to that paper, and perhaps you can do run some codes using this data. Now, what is function GL? When Anuradha would take a class with you, she would perhaps in this function GLM, and you can learn more about the GLM function. One logit is already given to you. Two models are specified here already, right? And one is a probit model, one is JIT model. And you can run the models and report the findings. So this is how you would get data. Now, there is no package so I using the from here of data, not going to, but uh, you will go to the base data file of R and you will get income data, right? Data pooling method so that they would get the data. So this is how all four groups have to get the data. Data is already there in R. What you have to do is to look at the data, look at what has been taught to you, and whatever you know and what has been taught, you put together and run analysis. So in your presentation, I'll give you some basic structure of your presentation as a PPT. In your presentation, you have to talk basically about the data that you have, the question that you are asking, the analysis that you have done, so the statistical that you've used, the findings that you have from this data, and the interpretation of those findings. All of that you present. So I'm stopping the presentation. So from this data, you can then make a presentation. Your group can make a presentation. So you've been allotted to a group, one of the 4 groups. Every group has been given the data. Now you know how to see the data. You know what help to take on the data. So what you need to do is analyze that data and create a kind of presentation on the basis of analysis, which will have information about data, the research problem that you want to answer, the analysis that you have done, the findings that you have obtained, and interpretation of those findings. 2 to 3 members preferably should be making presentation of for your group. Roughly, we are keeping 20 minutes for every group. There is somebody who would come and evaluate your presentation. So that will happen. And you can share your slides. So if you have, you must make PPT, because then it's easy to show PPT. You need not run the data or run the codes during your presentations. Please keep your videos on. There are quite a few members whose videos are not on. So you need not run codes during your presentation. You just need to show the output that you've got from R. If you could cut paste that output as it is, and if that is seen, wonderful. But there are going to be graphs which you have to present slightly, like giving title and all of that. So that you have to do. I don't expect people to run the codes during presentations. Like that's quite school-like to do. You have to present the findings from analysis in R. Yeah, I think this was quite covering
Thank
everything
you.
that is for presentation. Shehnaz, you have some question. You raised hand.
Yes, sir. I have done that steps which you said, file, import data set, and then I cannot find that file, income dot. It takes me to my this PC documents.
In that file, in that folder, you
There
have
is
to
an
go
R
ahead.
folder.
Go ahead in the R folder.
Then Win library.
Go to the library. Go
Oh,
to the
what?
library in which this data set is there, base library, and you will find income. So, or you can use, since you're using Windows, you can actually search for income.data in that library, and you will find the file.
Unfortunately, I'm not getting it. I'll just search. Because when I
Yeah.
search, it said it's not found. Data set not found. Income. Because there are
Income.data.
income dot.
Try searching. If you don't find it, I'll help you at the end of the session. Hello, Kananda, madam. You've raised the hand.
Hello, sir. So I'm sorry, my video is not working properly. Sir, I have already done this thing to get the data for group 4, but it is showing that there is no package called Datadune.
So what should we be doing if there's no package? Friends, can you help her?
Install packages.
Install.packages. You have to install the package if the package is not.
Okay, I missed that mistake. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Anything else on the data and presentation? Okay, we'll do that. Let's not take the time of the session. All group 2 members, perhaps I'll simply put the XLS or CSV on the group which you can start using.
Sir, I've
Right.
just re-downloaded the R Studio. So do I need to install any specific packages for today?
As we go ahead, we will look at those packages.
Okay, so like it is not linked with yesterday. Yesterday we had installed some packages, Excel and all.
Yeah. It is not necessary. We will use the data that is either there or whatever data that we want to use as a common data, which you don't have. I will share it on your group. You can take it from there.
Okay, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you.
Let's start with today's session. Okay. Now, see, we have often large data set. Okay. Say there are times data are really large. You have 50 variables, 100 variables, 200 variables. Just imagine if you have 200 variables and you're doing regression. You can't have y predicted by 200 variables. It is a nonsensical regression, right? Your degrees of freedom would be very high. Your model, overall model would be significant with an extremely poor individual predictive capacity. So in such cases, what do we do? Second problem, which perhaps Dr. Bhavesh will discuss in the afternoon, and that is a problem of uh, multicollinearity. That is when I'm doing regression. I will have variables which are predictor variables, which are highly correlated. Okay. Now, in such cases, when predictor variables depend on each other, I will have difficulty in running the model. I'll have difficulty in running the model. So when I have multiple predictor variables, what do I do? Okay, when I have multiple predictor variables, what do I do is the problem that I have, right? This is in case of regression models. In disciplines like sociology, political science, education, management, psychology, we have more trickier problems. I'm still seeing a lot of videos switched off. Uh, Honestly, I must tell this that it is a requirement from the HRDC. I have no personal interest in seeing people's faces. It is a requirement from the HRDC that you have to keep your videos on. If you don't, then I will have a difficulty to deal with the situation. Then you and HRDC manage the things with each other. Okay. And excuses like my video doesn't work are very unacceptable at this level, because all of us have uh, multiple devices. Nobody works on single device. Like third standard child saying that my phone camera doesn't work, my father is not there, my mother is not there, I can understand. All of us make these days only video calls. So if your one device doesn't have a video, use another device. And if there is an issue, my phone number is there. There are other ways of getting to me and at least keeping me informed that there is an issue, so things will not happen. I'm not expecting that every time everybody will have a, like, technology will always create problems, but try to be as cooperative as possible. Okay, so this is one set of problems that we have in regression model. Second set of problems we have is associated with disciplines like management, sociology, political science, education, and psychology. And what is the problem? The problem is most of these disciplines deal with concepts, right? Say, for example, as yesterday I was saying, democracy is a concept, is not a reality like a table or a computer, right? Uh, or intelligence is also not a reality. It is a concept which we use, which is quite useful. Concepts are not true or false. Like you would never say that a particular concept is a true concept or a false concept. It is useful either scientifically or it has some applied value, and so it is retained in the domain of science. Now, when I say concepts like intelligence or democracy or personality, what are the aspects of those concepts? What are the independent uh, aspects or sides of that concepts, of those concepts, is something that we need to understand. That's the second set of problem. Okay. So when I say that I want to measure people's attitude towards democracy, what are the 5 things, 6, 7, 8 things I should be measuring? Whether I should just measure one thing, which is called attitude towards democracy, or attitude towards democracy is 5 or 6 or 7 things. Do I know that? To begin with, I can actually start with some theory that talks about democracy and reach to some major scale or a question. Or I can start with the data and perhaps find the structure of the attitude, right? The third problem is even more complex. Okay, the first problem is regression, where there are multiple variables that are dependent on each other. So one problem in that is there are too many variables. The second problem in that is there's a linear dependence of the variables on each other, right? Say, for example, I take unit test 1 marks and unit test 2 marks. And marks in, say, semester 1 or first semester, semester end exam marks. So unit test 1, unit test 2, and semester 1, semester end exam marks are going to be highly correlated, right? And if I use them as predictors of something, they are, since very highly correlated, only one of them would turn out to be a good predictor. Okay. So this is one problem that we have. So large number of predictors and predictors that are highly correlated. Second, when we have concepts, we want to break down those concepts into smaller units, like attitude towards democracy, right? Or attitude towards gender equality, right? So when I measure attitude towards gender equality, what are the things that I should be measuring? Is this attitude just one thing, or there are multiple things, multiple facets to this attitude? And this data can tell me. Than going by somebody's theory who is sitting in Italy or Germany or Northern America next to Pacific and writing about attitude towards gender equality. And if I'm doing a study in Vadagaon Sheri or Vadagaon Budruk, that theorization might not be useful to me. For me, even I talk to people in India, in villages, perhaps I need to discover what are the things that I should be measuring, right? Instead of purely depending on their structures. So I need to know what it means. So this is the second problem that I have. Third is more, and this problem is faced by a lot of disciplines. disciplines like management, disciplines like sociology, political science, because all of them use concepts. Education, psychology, economics, all of them face this problem. The third is more critical a problem. And that is what I am trying to measure is not observable. What I am trying to measure is not observable. What is observable is the effect of what I try to measure. Is it too complicated? What I try to measure is not observable. What I end up observing is just the effect of what I try to measure. Right? Now, this is a very interesting problem. See, and this is the problem Professor Hattekar was talking about in his first inauguration lecture. What did he say? And let me elaborate it. Suppose I want to measure intelligence. Since I come from psychology, these examples come to my head very intuitive. Or participation in democracy. How much, to what extent I am somebody who likes to participate in democratic exercises, right? My willingness to engage in democratic practices. Now, my willingness to engage in democratic practices, is that observable? No, it is inside my head. My willingness is inside me. What will you observe? You will observe whether I go and vote regularly in all elections, whether I use various democratic rights that have been given to me, like right to information, whether in decision makings that I make in groups, do I use democratic ways of making those decisions? Do I give a right of equality to my reasoning partners who hold exactly opposite views to the views I have in debates, in discussions, in interpersonal space? All of this I can ask questions about, right? Right. Now, is this my willingness to behave in a democratic way, or is this my uh, democratic functioning willingness? No, these are all things that have got caused by my internal belief system about what I think democracy is. But that internal belief system is still not observable. What others will get to see is whether I have voted, right? Whether there's a ink on my finger. That's it. That's what you will see. You will not see what attitude I hold about democracy. You might actually ask me a question and I give you an answer to that question. That answer that I'm giving to the question that you have in a questionnaire or a survey is caused by that attitude, but the attitude is not observable. What you have observed is the answer to one question. So, the third component is very interesting, and that is the unobservables need to be modeled in statistical manner. The unobservables need to be modeled in statistical manner. But what you need is number for them. When you need to do statistics, you need to put some number on them, right? Say, suppose I want to model height. I need everybody's height data, right? I need to measure height for everyone. But if something is not observable, then how do I put number to it? This is called a latent variable problem. The variable that I want to model is not observable, is latent. Okay, so modeling such kind of a variable is a problem that we need to solve. all these three problems, that is too many variables in the regression equation, or regression equation has variables that are dependent on each other, or the we want to know dimensions of a particular construct, or the construct itself is unobservable. All such kind of problems can be solved by a technique called latent variable modeling. Factor analysis is one kind of such attempt. Factor analysis is one such kind of attempt. There is other set of analysis called structural equations modeling, which also helps me do this thing. So in the current session, I would try and give you a very basic idea of factor analysis, how factor analysis operates, and I would try and run some R codes of factor analysis, and let us do some good interpretation of factor analysis results. Okay, fine. So let me start with the presentation on factor analysis. Well, factor analysis is to put it simply, it's a collection of methods for explaining variation among the variables in terms of fundamental entities called factors. Okay, it's a very powerful method of data reduction. So if you have large data, you can reduce that data. And what is factor? Factor is a differentially weighted linear combination of variables, or it is unobserved or a latent entity. And this is important. A factor is statistically a weighted linear combination of variables. But the other side of factor, the y side of factor, is an unobserved or a latent entity. Okay. Well, what I will do quickly is instead of going there, I will go to R and let's get a data. Okay, can you see this data? There's the Excel sheet. Yeah, can you see this data?
Yes.
Okay. This is Surat data. Data Surat. This is another very interesting data. We'll use this data. Okay. Let me open it in Excel and numbers. Yeah. Is this data visible to all of you all?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Now this is the data that I'm going to use for this analysis. I'm going to share this data with you. This is data of say 201 people, 200 people. My first row of data is variable names, right? Okay. I'm going to save this data. It's an Excel sheet, which I'm going to save as CSV. I will add, right now I'm saving it on desktop. Okay. Data, I would say STCFA. Yeah, this is where I'm saving this data. So I'm going to desktop and opening it again. Data stc.fa is my data. Now, what all you see in this data? You will see expenditure, and all of us understand this really simply. Expenditure on food, expenditure on oil, expenditure on fruits, expenditure on petrol, bus, taxi, expenditure on school fees, tuition fees, education fees, uh, willingness to invest in child's insurance, and willingness to invest in uh, people's own insurance. Okay, this is the data, right? Now, I'll get this data in R and let's see what happens. Okay, some interesting things will happen. Okay, it is not copyrighted, so it's fine. If I'm calling data from CSV, I will have data and I have to write. What do I write if I have to call CSV?
Read Excel.
CSV,
Read.csv.
read.csv. This is the path user/Vivek/desktop, and this is the name of my data file. Data underscore stc dot underscore fa dot csv. I'll put all of this in quotes, right? So this is my factor analysis example, right? Should I import? Is there anything missing in this? Okay, I put a comma here and I say header. That is the first row. Header is equal to true, right? I hope my screen is visible to all of you. Header is true. The moment I say header is true, I can get this data in R, right? The first row of the data, that is this row, will be the header row. So this is not data, but this is names of the variables. So this should not be read as data point. The data point should begin from here. Okay, I got the data. What I'm doing is I'm going to your WhatsApp group. Your WhatsApp group is
Third
yeah,
Third one.
yeah,
STC.
yeah, yeah. So what I'll do is I'll pull this data file to your group. I've shared the data with you, right? It's there on the group. You can download the data. Once you download the data and get data in your R, let me know. We can start doing further. Okay. Download the data, get it in R.
So we can do from import data set by clicking.
Yes, you can.
So I'm getting
can.
an error that it is not an Excel file or something like that.
It is not an Excel file, it's a CSV file.
So how do I
Look
import
at the
it?
extension. Write this comment. What I'll do is I'll paste this line for you. Read.csv and give the path.
Just a minute. Read.csv.
Read.csv and write your path.
Vivek, if it is on the desktop, my desktop, so what
Ah.
should I write?
The path of the file. So click, right click on the, what you can do actually is just drag that file to our studio editor, and it should read the location.
Okay,
If it doesn't, then go to properties, and the location path is already given in the properties. So copy it from properties. So read.csv, then you have to write the path and the variable name. And header is the file name. So what I have written is for Mac, your paths are going to be different. Are you done getting the file inside R? No? Who has managed to do that? Those can actually paste the code in the chat box. So Sarika is saying she got her file. Don't use her location.
I've used file.choose.
Alokananda has got.
Sir, Sachin here. So from desktop, how to get that particular file?
Find the destination of the file. Right click on the file. In the properties, you will find the location of the file. Copy that location and paste it. So what you have to basically paste is this line.
Vivek, on my old MacBook, the property option is not there.
Okay, you are using MacBook. Fine.
Yes.
Then right click on the file. There is get info option.
Okay.
Click on the get info. And in get info, in general, there is option where. Copy that. Did you see it?
No.
When you go in, go to get info.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yes.
Then there are options: general, more info, name extensions. In general, there is an option where.
No, there is no option.
Can you share your screen?
Yes, yes.
Vivek sir, can they use file.choose? It will be easier, right?
I think let him share it. Otherwise, we'll go to file.choose. At times, file.choose, if the other settings are not good, leads to crash of R. So I'm not doing that. And Umesh is sharing the screen. So yeah. See, here is the option where there is general ऊपर आपका, हाँ उसमें नीचे आओ, where लिखा है,
Okay, yeah.
हाँ Macintosh up till desktop, इसको कॉपी करो,
Okay, copy.
हाँ ये बंद कर दो अभी, हाँ इधर ये जो stc read.csv है ना, वो डेटा वगैरह सब कुछ निकाल दो,
Right?
राइट। अभी इसके बाद स्लैश दे दो, सेम काइंड ऑफ स्लैश दैट इज देयर, नहीं स्लैश
Underscore.
वो जो नहीं स्लैश तिरकी लाइन,
Okay.
तिरछा वाला लाइन, हाँ। देन राइट द फाइल नेम,
What is that?
दैट इज
data.stc.
नहीं डेटा अंडरस्कोर stc कैपिटल अंडरस्कोर fa capital dot csv. Now put all of this into quotes. वो पहला स्लैश से लेके csv तक।
Now run.
नहीं कोट्स में डालो ना, वो उसको यूजर से लेके, वो यूजर से पहले जो स्लैश है ना, कोट्स ऊपर से बंद होने वाले कोट्स होते हैं ना, हाँ डबल कोट्स नॉट सिंगल, डबल कोट्स यहाँ पे नहीं, एक काम करो, वो पूरा सिलेक्ट करो, वी स्लैश से लेके वी तक, हाँ वी तक, हाँ और अभी कोट्स दबा दो, वो आर खुद कर लेगा कोट्स, डबल कोट्स वाला बटन दबा दो, हाँ हो गया, राइट। अब ये रीड लिखा है ना, रीड के पहले कुछ नाम दे दो डेटा करके, हाँ अभी वो असाइनमेंट ऑपरेटर डालो डेटा के बाद, डेटा लिखा है ना, नहीं ए गया एक इधर गया, हाँ सो वो एरो और हैश नहीं डैश,
Which arrow?
स्मॉलर देन का साइन होता है ना,
वो पुराने मैकबुक में नहीं
है
हाँ यस
स्मॉलर देन का साइन, नहीं वो दूसरा वाला साइन, हाँ अभी और डैश का साइन डाल दो, ऊपर है देखो जीरो के बाजू में, हाँ अभी थोड़ा स्पेस दबाओ, हाँ ये जो साइन उमेश ने डाला है ना इधर, दिस साइन इज कॉल्ड असाइनमेंट ऑपरेटर। So whatever is on the left side, right side of the assignment operator is assigned to the right side thing. Umesh, now run it. Control R, Command R करके। नीचे क्या हुआ?
Umesh sir, header is equal to true.
हाँ इसके बाद CSV के बाद है ना, header is equal to true लिखना है, कॉमा डाल के। CSV लिखा है ना आपने? नहीं वो वाला CSV नहीं, अंदर वाला, ब्रैकेट के अंदर वाला। यहाँ पे
ओके कॉमा
हेडर इज इक्वल टू टी, हाँ अभी रन कीजिए, नहीं हुआ ये आपने सिंगल कोट्स किया है उसको डबल कोट्स कर दीजिए, ये जो सिंगल कोट में ना शायद से, और वो भी शुरुआत वाला भी, अभी रन कीजिए।
No.
I'm trying to see what is wrong. Read.csv is the file on desktop?
Yes.
आप डेस्कटॉप पे जाइए आपके, हाँ वो फाइल कौन सी है? एक मिनट, वो हाँ डेटा, अरे ये सब डैश है, एक काम कीजिए, ये फाइल पे एक एंटर का बटन दबा दीजिए, हाँ अभी कंट्रोल सी दबाइए, वो कॉपी हो जाएगा फाइल नेम गलत लिख रहे थे, हाँ अभी आर में जाइए वापस, और वो जो पुराना फाइल नेम है ना जहाँ पे हमने अंडरस्कोर लिखा है डेटा अंडरस्कोर, ये वो हटा दीजिए। नहीं CSV तक नहीं, सिर्फ वो डॉट तक,
FA तक।
हाँ ये FA तक बराबर, डिलीट कर दीजिए उसको। नहीं पूरा पेस्ट हो गया, कंट्रोल Z कीजिए। हाँ बस बहुत गया। डेस्कटॉप आपने अपने बहुत कुछ मिटा दिया। हाँ /, हाँ वो आपका जो डेस्कटॉप पे फाइल का नाम था ना डैश करके, वो वाला डाल दीजिए।
ओके।
और फिर रन कीजिए। वो डेटा ऊपर लिखा है, देखिए फाइल नेम सबसे ऊपर है। हाँ 6 KB के बाजू में लिखा है, वो सिलेक्ट हो रहा है?
नो
नहीं, वो बंद कर दीजिए फिर, वो लाल बटन तो ये करके, और उसके ऊपर एंटर का बटन दबा दीजिए। एंटर दबा दीजिए तो फाइल नेम खुल जाता है। अभी इसको कॉपी कर लीजिए राइट क्लिक करके, हाँ आप पेस्ट कर लीजिए। अभी रन कीजिए।
यस
हो गया।
या
हाँ अभी ना नेक्स्ट लाइन पे, दिस इज फॉर एवरीवन एंड सो आई एम शोइंग इट, उमेश इज शेयरिंग द स्क्रीन। तो ये read.csv तक वैसा ही रखिए सर। एक मिनट, आपका मैक है ना, आप स्क्रीन शेयर बंद कीजिए, सारिका विल डू, उसका विंडोज है। हाँ तो दूसरा वी विल लर्न अदर एग्जांपल। मैक ओनली, ठीक है, बट विल डू। Yeah, who has Windows?
I have.
Okay, any one of you can share. Who is sharing?
I'll do it.
Who is this?
Shahnaz.
Others, please pay attention. So, why I am not running it on my computer is simple, because I'll finish it in half a second. It's like people from your group who are doing it.
Is this visible? So
Yes, it is. Okay, now do simple thing. Write your code up till data read.csv, data assignment of data read. हाँ वो सिर्फ हाँ keep writing. हाँ keep writing. बस लिखिए। अभी ब्रैकेट डाल दीजिए। ब्रैकेट के अंदर लिखिए file.choose। मैं आपको यहाँ पे भेज रहा हूँ।
अरे यार पागल लगा दे बिल्कुल। और बच्चे कहते हैं और कोई अरे रास्ते में पता नहीं तो कहीं तो भी ध्यान नहीं रखती है।
मीनाक्षी जी आपका ऑडियो शुरू है। मीनाक्षी जी आपका ऑडियो शुरू है।
in the bracket I have to type this file.choose.
हाँ आ गया, देखिए ऑप्शन आ गया, एंटर करोगे तो हाँ अभी एम्प्टी ब्रैकेट डाल दीजिए बस। अभी रन कीजिए इसको सिर्फ। हाँ एक मिनट रुकिए। मीनाक्षी जी आपका ऑडियो शुरू है, जरा उसको बंद कर सकते हैं आप? मीनाक्षी जी आपका ऑडियो शुरू है,
Sir, I think
क्या
you
बंद
can
कर
mute
सकते
her.
हैं?
You can mute her.
No, I just wanted her attention also to the fact that her audio is on. If somebody has her phone number, please call her. One of her group members can do that. See, this is a very elegant command that Shehnaz has written. Data, which is the object she has created, she has written the read.csv into bracket file.choose empty brackets. Now empty bracket is a path. Now now Umesh was trying to write a path, and at times, you might not know the path. At times paths are really long. मतलब किसी फोल्डर में, किसी सी ड्राइव के, डी ड्राइव के फोल्डर में एक रिसर्च करके फोल्डर है, उसमें आपका एक प्रोजेक्ट करके फोल्डर है, उसमें कॉलेज प्रोजेक्ट करके फोल्डर है, उसमें 22 करके एक फोल्डर है, उसमें जनवरी करके एक फोल्डर है, उसमें कुछ data.csv उसको लाना है, लंबा लिखना पड़ता है। हाँ, अभी ये मेहनत को कम करने का ये तरीका है। अभी रन कीजिए मैडम इसको, देखिए बहुत आसान हो गया इनके लिए। अभी उमेश मुझे गाली देगा कि ये मुझे क्यों नहीं बताया।
No, 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 no. No, no.
आ गया, हो गया काम।
तो ये फर्स्ट वाले में क्या मिस्टेक था? फर्स्ट जो मैंने लिखा है,
कोई तो लाइन
क्या मिस्टेक है सर उसमें?
नहीं, आपने वो डेटा का नाम लिखा ना डाउनलोड्स के बाद स्लैश
हाँ।
गलत डाला है।
अच्छा, स्लैश गलत था उसमें।
हाँ, वो मैक और विंडोज में अलग तरीके के स्लैश होते हैं, इसलिए मैं विंडोज वाला एग्जांपल ले रहा था।
अच्छा, तो सारे स्लैश गलत है क्या?
नहीं, आपके बाकी के स्लैश सही है। एक क्लास वाला आपने मेरे यहाँ से शायद से कॉपी किया ना?
नहीं, मैंने सब टाइप किया सर।
हाँ, तो सब स्लैश एक तरीके के होने चाहिए।
अभी
रन
ठीक
करके
है?
देखिए उसको, रन करके देखिए। हाँ, तो सारे स्लैश उल्टे कर
या
दीजिए।
नीचे कुछ है सर, देखिए ना, यू विदाउट हेक्स डिजिट कुछ एरर आ रहा है, आई डोंट नो व्हाट इट इज, बट ठीक है, एनीवेज अभी आ गया।
वो स्लैश से देखिए कुछ हो रहा है क्या, ये सारे स्लैश उल्टे कर दीजिए। अभी मुझे पता नहीं विंडोज में कौन से
ये
स्लैश
सर, ये
चलते हैं।
मैंने
फॉरवर्ड स्लैश देने से हो रहा है,
फॉरवर्ड स्लैश लेने से हो रहा है।
फॉरवर्ड स्लैश देने से हो रहा है।
सर ये जो पाथ है ना, सी यूजर्स लैपटॉप, वो जो आपने बोला ना प्रॉपर्टी में जाके फाइल नेम कॉपी
हाँ,
करो,
हाँ, हाँ,
वैसे
हाँ,
किया
हाँ।
मैंने, तो ये इसके लिए बैकवर्ड स्लैश आया है सब।
एक काम कीजिए, ये जो यूजर्स लैपटॉप वगैरह हटा दीजिए और सिर्फ सी डाउनलोड तक ही रखिए। नहीं, सी स्लैश डाउनलोड तक ही रखिए। मुझे लगता है विंडोज ये बाकी सब कुछ नहीं पढ़ता आजकल।
ये हटा दो,
हाँ,
सी
और
भी हटा
कोलन,
दो।
हाँ सी रखिए ना, सी तो फोल्डर नेम है।
ऐसे
हाँ, हाँ, अभी रन कीजिए। वो सी का सी के बाद स्लैश नहीं है, देखिए कोलन है, सी का कोलन भी हटा दीजिए और स्लैश रखिए उधर।
दिस वन ना, बैकवर्ड वाला।
हाँ, 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 तो विंडोज में वही मैं बोल रहा था इनको कि फॉरवर्ड स्लैश कर दीजिए सब जगह पे। हाँ, ठीक है, बेसिकली सबका डेटा आ गया विद दिस।
तो सर ये वाला
हाँ,
मैं पेस्ट करूँ क्या चैट में?
हाँ, ये चैट में पेस्ट कर दीजिए सबके लिए। बढ़िया शेना जी, थैंक यू वेरी मच।
Sir, mine is coming only through file choose, but not through the.
बढ़िया है ना, अरे अपने को डेटा आने से मतलब है। चलो अभी मैं मेरे स्क्रीन को शेयर करता हूँ और जाके देखते हैं क्या हो रहा है। हाँ, ये मेरा स्क्रीन है, ठीक है। एक सेकंड। Yeah. Sorry. There's somebody who came, and today is Mahashivratri. Office is closed, so there's no one to attend. Whoever is coming to my office, so I just spoke to somebody. Sorry. So this is how I got my data. I could have also done file.choose. Now what I do is dim into bracket data. Okay. Now this data has 200 rows, 11 columns, right? So I need the next thing that I'm doing, I'm just pasting everything that I'm doing in the chat box. Same data. Then I will do names data. These are the names that I have for the data.
Hello, sir. Sir, sorry to interrupt. But
yes.
With this file name also, I'm not able to attach my data. Same
which
here,
file
sir.
name? I'm stopping my presentation. Who is this?
This is mine also not getting. File dot choose.
File.choose. Can you share your screen?
Yes. Sir, I am sharing my screen.
Okay, one of you can share your screen.
Sir, I have given this. Oh my God. What happened? Yeah. I have given
Madhuri,
this
you are
command.
sharing your screen, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Huh.
So, sir, I'm
My
not
name is Vivek
recognized.
and not sir. So
Okay, Vivek. I'm not getting my file is extracted or not. This kind of screen I have given this command.
no, I can't see your screen. Your screen is not visible. Can you please share a screen?
Just a minute, sir.
In Google Meet, there is this option up arrow in square.
Yeah. I'm not able to share the screen.
Okay, can somebody else do that?
Yeah,
Because
please.
there were two people who said that they have this problem, right? I think Viva, did you say
One
this?
was me, so it is sorted, no? So
Yeah. So Viva, could you data read.csv file.choose? Yeah, can you run one of them? Yeah. Oh, the problem is just click on the below thing. कंसोल करके लिखा है ना, वहां पे जाइए, वहां पे क्लिक कीजिए कहीं भी कंसोल के अंदर, हाँ कंसोल के अंदर क्लिक और एंटर दबाइए कीजिए, एंटर दबा दीजिए। हाँ आपके यहाँ पे ना ये नहीं आ रहा है, ये खुला है आपका कहीं तो for importing data. See, whenever you are running any command, there has to be a cursor here. The cursor is this. आप जरा ऊपर जाइए आपके स्क्रीन में, नहीं इसी कंसोल वाले स्क्रीन में, वो बाजू का जो है ना एरो, उसके ऊपर क्लिक, हाँ और ऊपर जाइए, नीचे आइए, जब आर शुरू होता है थोड़ा सा ही नीचे आइए, और थोड़ा नीचे आइए। हाँ देखिए ये डेटा आपने लिखा है ना, उसके पहले कर्सर है वो एरो टाइप। हाँ ये कर्सर जब तक नहीं होता तब तक नया कमांड रन नहीं होता, इसका मतलब पुराना कमांड रन हो रहा है। इसका मतलब आपने जब वो जो फाइल डॉट चूज किया है ना, वो खुला है कहीं तो दिख नहीं रहा है आपको, या कुछ तो गड़बड़ हो गया है, तो आप आर स्टूडियो बंद कर दीजिए ये और वापस शुरू कीजिए और ये वापस लिखिए। ये लूप पहला वाला लूप, हाँ लूप क्लोज नहीं हुआ है पहला वाला आपका। हाँ अभी आप बंद कर सकते हैं डेटा शेयरिंग, स्क्रीन शेयरिंग। अभी मैं मेरा स्क्रीन शेयर करता हूँ। हम यहाँ पे है, ये डेटा हमारे पास है। We have a data of this is the data names. If I look at, I've called it data. So if I double click it, I have expenditure on food, expenditure on oil, fruits, petrol, bus, taxi, school fee, tuition fee, education, willingness to invest in child's insurance, child's future academic insurance, and parents' health insurance. These are two insurances that people would want to do. This is some real data we have collected some time back on people's willingness to kind of insure. Now, let me do a very simple thing. Okay, I'm writing a code. You can write it slightly later. Attach dot data, so that this data will get attached. I'm not running any of the code. I'll run the codes later. I'm just writing the codes. Fit LM, and LM is linear model. Yesterday you have done this with Pooja, right?
Yes.
I'm attaching the data. So I have written a code attach data, which I've shared with you. Linear model CH underscore insurance is predicted by, वो कैसे लिखते हैं?
Tilde.
Tilde. Yeah. Tilde. Tilde is predicted by. Thank you. And what are the various predictors that I have? Food plus oil, expenditure on oil plus expenditure on fruits plus expenditure on petrol plus expenditure on bus plus expenditure on taxi plus expenditure on school fees, right? Plus expenditure on tuition fee plus other educational expenditures like बच्चा है तो उसको स्कूल के लिए जूते खरीदने पड़ते हैं वगैरह। ये मेरा पूरा मॉडल हो गया, ठीक है। मैं आपके साथ ये कोड शेयर कर रहा हूं, आप भी रन कीजिए। मतलब ये लिखने का थोड़ा कष्ट आपका कम हो जाएगा। यू विल ओके। मैंने ये मॉडल रन किया, मैंने इसका समरी भी रन किया। नीचे देखिए यहाँ पे समरी आया है। क्या सबका आ गया ऐसा? जिन जिन लोगों का डेटा इंपोर्ट हो गया है उनका ये समरी भी आया हो। ये क्या कह रहा है कि कल आपने रिग्रेशन पढ़ा है, पहले क्या देखते हैं आप? एफ स्टैटिस्टिक्स, ये सिग्निफिकेंट है, पी वैल्यू छोटा है। But I can say the entire model is significant. What is my entire model? This is my entire model. That is willingness to invest in child's future education insurance is determined by expenditure on food, expenditure on fruits, petrol, expenditure on bus, expenditure on taxi, school fee expenditure, tuition fee expenditure, education expenditure. Now, this willingness is predicted by school fee, tuition fee, and education fee expenditure only. Look at the p-values. What is the worst predictor? Expenditure on oil. Complete, equally insignificant. हाँ, ये हमें पता चला। Adjusted R-square 0.71 है, अच्छी बात है। अभी मैं दूसरा मॉडल लिखता हूँ। इसको I'll give the output object is fit1, in summary fit1. दूसरा इंश्योरेंस कौन सा था? पेरेंट इंश्योरेंस। ओके, इसको रन करते हैं। देख अभी क्या हुआ, ये पेरेंट इंश्योरेंस भी सिग्निफिकेंट आ रहा है। उसके प्रेडिक्टर्स क्या है? फूड, ऑयल, फ्रूट्स एंड पेट्रोल। स्कूल फी उसका प्रेडिक्टर है नहीं। नाउ यू वुड रियलाइज कि ये जो मॉडल है इसमें काफी सारे इनसिग्निफिकेंट प्रेडिक्टर्स है। मैंने क्या करना चाहिए था? तो मैंने ये सब वेरिएबल्स का एक दूसरे के साथ कोरिलेशन टेस्ट करना चाहिए था। तो मैं एक सीधी सी बात करता हूं, कोर डेटा। ये है इनका कोर डेटा को मैं अभी और लिखता हूं। कोर डेटा यहाँ पे एक ब्रैकेट आया है।
Sir, could you increase the font size, please?
I will post it in the chat.
Vivek, I got an error in the previous what you have posted in the chat. So is it different for Mac or the formulas will remain same?
No, formula, the codes will remain same.
Okay.
Sir, it is coming error in summary fit, sir.
Yes, summary fit we are getting error.
Yes, sir, it is in the object fit is not found.
But have you written this code? Ye fit
Yes,
wala?
yes,
So
we have.
whatever you have text in the message box, we have copied it and we have pasted it.
Okay. So it should be there. We'll again go and check if we can see the summary.
One more request. Could you please admit me? I'm joining from my mobile, so I can do simultaneously. Yeah.
Okay, I have admitted you.
Yeah, thanks.
If you look at this, do you see the correlation matrix? एकदम नीचे है जो ये वाला मैं हाईलाइट कर रहा हूँ. ये correlation matrix आपको दिख रहा है सबको? Can you see it?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Now you would see that there are variables that are highly correlated with each other. Like food is very well correlated with oil and fruits, or petrol is correlated with taxi, and all of this. Now this causes a problem in your predictive models. And so you should not actually be using these this kind of regression is not appropriate. One of the solutions, so this problem is called problem of multicollinearity in regression analysis, right? This is a problem that is called multicollinearity in regression analysis. And this is the problem that factor analysis can actually deal with. So in it's 11:26, I won't do factor analysis, but I'll quickly take you to a very interesting function. Okay, how you should explore R correlations graph in R. Okay, as I have given a search. There is a package called Correlogram. Okay, and this package is your SVDTH this is a very good website. Please keep visiting this. Okay, they have given how to run this. So I will just copy paste. I'm sending this website link to your WhatsApp. I'm simply I'm not using my head. Just copy pasting. You also keep doing that. Install core plots. I have installed core plots, and then I have to do library core plots, right? They've skipped it. Fine, I will write it. Library URR core plot. I have called the library. Now there is a very interesting visualization that I can do, and that is look at this. Do you see this?
Yes.
Yeah. This is my data. Now, you all know that a correlation matrix has unities in the diagonal. you would realize that the structure of correlation is wonderful here. So expenditure on food, oil, and fruits correlate well with each other. Okay. Now the size of the circle, maximum is this size, gets determined by the size of the correlation. Okay. So here they have given the scale. If it becomes blue, the correlation is 1. From light blue, white means there is no correlation. As it becomes dark blue, the correlation approaches 1. As it becomes dark red, the correlation approaches -1. Now, no negative correlations here, or very small negative correlations here. Say, for example, tuition fee and taxi, right? These kinds of. But otherwise, correlations are positive. You would realize that these expenditures are going together. These expenditures are going together, and these expenditures, school fee, tuition fee, education, and insurance in child is going together. You would also realize that expenditure on food is going with parents' insurance, right? Expenditure on food is going with willingness to invest in parents' insurance, but also expenditure on travel is also going with willingness to invest in parents' insurance. There's a small correlation here, which would be say 0.2 or so, which is investment in education of child is also predicting parents insurance. So this is another thing. So what we have realized that some variables are correlating really well with each other. Some variables are correlating really well with each other, right? And this is causing a problem called multicollinearity. And this problem is a trouble for us when we are doing regression analysis, right? Now, how to deal with this problem? One way to deal with this problem is to use R, okay? Is to use factor analysis. And so what I'll do is it's 11:31. We take a break for 10 minutes. We come back at 11:40. You can have tea. I will also have a cup of chai, and we'll meet after 11:41 and come back and discuss
could you
how
share
to
the
use
code?
factor analysis. I will
Could
share
you-
the code.
Yeah.
I will share the code.
So, hello?
Yeah. Yeah.
So what about the size of the circle? What is, we know that it is showing that quite a comparatively lower correlation, but can we have the value from there?
If you want value can be given there. There are different graphs you can plot, which will tell you the value as well as things like that. I'm just pasting another code which you can use. It's there in your chat, which will give you values. Just run this code and it will give you values, right? The one that says method is equal to number instead of method is equal to circles, right? Instead of doing method is equal to numbers,
Sir,
I have done method is equal to circles. Yes, madam.
sir, can I show you my screen, because the
Yeah.
previous thing, the
Others,
summary.
we are on the break. So,
Okay, after break, sir. After break.
आलोक
Or...
नंदा जी, आप भी एक कप चाय पी लीजिए.
Okay, okay.
मेरे पास कोई विजिटर्स हैं, उनसे बात कर लेता हूँ.
Okay, thank you, sir.
और
Thank you.
we'll come back and we will start with your screen as we come back.
Thank you, sir. Thank
Okay. It's 11:33, so 11:43. 10 मिनट का ब्रेक, कायदे से 10 मिनट का ब्रेक.